Oh my God.
But in Arizona, this election will be.
Let's keep doing that, please.
Shazam!
2024 will go down in Arizona as a year of celebrations, controversies, political change, and weather records shattered again. I'm Jared Dillingham. This half hour, we are taking a look at the people and the major events that impacted all of us this year, beginning with big news at the border in January. The new year began with the border reopening. The Lukeville crossing on the road to Rocky Point closed after the staff was sent to help process a record number of migrants crossing in December. The fallout, though, continued as Arizonans, nervous about another possible border closure, canceled their trips and left Rocky Point's resorts and beaches fairly empty for months to come. Tragedy unfolded near Eloy in January. 4 people were killed in a hot air balloon crash. After 8 skydivers jumped from a basket, something went wrong. The balloon crashed, killing 4 of the 5 people still in the basket. All of them experienced pros.
He led people on jumps. He was sort of an expert skydiver that helped other people learn.
The cause is still under investigation. At the state capitol in January, Governor Katie Hobbs opened the legislative session, taking aim at the rising cost of the state's universal school voucher program.
This is an unaccountable, unsustainable program that is costing taxpayer dollars.
Republican lawmakers would keep the voucher program intact as the legislature made other cuts to address the $1.7 billion budget shortfall. A scandal sent the state GOP into turmoil in January. Kari Lake leaked a secret recording of state party chair Jeff DeWitt trying to bribe her to drop out of the race for Senate.
Is there any companies out there or something that could just put her on the payroll and give her to keep her out?
The following day, DeWitt quit as chair of the state party. The warm, dry winter turned cold and snowy in January, with temperatures dropping below freezing even in the valley. And the Arizona Cardinals ended the season a dismal 4-13. Still, in January, players seemed optimistic.
This team, one of my favorite teams to ever be a part of.
Went through a lot of adversity, and good things are on the horizon.
Hopeful that a foundation laid last season would lead to success in the fall. February teed off with a soggy start to the WM Phoenix Open. Heavy rain and hail halted the Celebrity Pro-Am. Then round 1 of the tournament was suspended as the course became saturated and parking lots turned to mud pits.
We knew it was going to rain, but we didn't know it was going to come down this hard.
It went from bad to worse as a massive crowd Saturday got out of control.
The whole waste management just stopped serving alcohol, and I need someone at home to tell me why.
Organizers closed the gates and stopped selling alcohol, all in the name of public safety.
If it saved one life because somebody didn't get an alcoholic beverage, so be it.
Organizers have changes planned to prevent a repeat of the problems in 2025. Arizona schools began dealing with their budget shortfalls in February. Paradise Valley Unified closed 3 schools.
I'm feeling very sad, disappointed, and also very angry.
Gila Bend Unified hired prisoners on the cheap, paying them 50 cents an hour for janitorial and landscaping work when students are not around.
They're seriously vetted at Lewis Prison before they get on that van.
And Mesa Public Schools, the state's largest district, cut more than 100 positions. A fire tore through historic downtown Bisbee in February. Several businesses were damaged. Main Street closed for months. The cause of the fire was later determined to be electrical. Congress killed a border security bill in February, which would have meant more border agents and drug detecting equipment.
I'm frustrated and I'm pissed off. I mean, this is like very few days that I've experienced up here.
At the time, former President Donald Trump told his allies in Congress to kill the bill because he wanted to run on border issues, a move that may have contributed to his win in November. We saw plenty of Purdy pride in February as Gilbert native Brock Purdy led the 49ers to the Super Bowl. After they lost to the Chiefs, the 24-year-old graciously and humbly looked ahead.
I got to be better in terms of, leading the guys and just, I think how I handle things in the huddle.
Across the high country, they were measuring snow by the foot in February. A 3-day storm closed schools and highways and helped build the all-important snowpack in the mountains. The month of March began with charges for 7 teenagers and young adults in the death of 16-year-old Preston Lord. His fatal beating put a focus on the teen-on-teen violence in the East Valley. All 7 pleaded not guilty, beginning the high-profile court process to get justice for Preston. Also in March, Arizona's Family Investigates uncovered reports about mystery drones spotted by military pilots flying over restricted airspace in Arizona. One hit an F-16, that's in addition to several other close calls.
Senator, they alarm me.
A general confirmed the drones are flying up from Mexico, though it's unclear if they're spying on military training missions or scouting for drug cartels. As median home prices hit about $1 million in Sedona, more people who work in the city cannot afford to live there. In March, the City Council created a parking lot specifically for people living out of their vehicles.
Workers who are living in their vehicles are having a difficult time right now.
The controversial plan made national headlines and went to the ballot, where Sedona voters ultimately killed it. Several different March snowstorms dropped a foot or more of snow in the high country, pleasing spring break skiers and snowboarders.
Snow's good, atmosphere's great, lifts are running, just let it rip, man.
And the Arizona Diamondbacks returned for spring training with high hopes after their trip to the World Series.
It's really exciting, and I think we're just eager to get started here.
The Cactus League wrapped up with crowd sizes nearing pre-pandemic numbers, 1.6 million fans, and most of them, 6 of 10, were from out of state, all of them soaking up the Arizona sunshine in March.
It is a dark day in Arizona.
Arizona made international headlines in April after the state Supreme Court reinstated a near-total ban on abortions. Reviving the old pre-statehood law from the 1860s drew more than criticism.
I am angry.
That anger in April later turned into action and a citizen initiative on the ballot to enshrine abortion access in our state constitution. Authorities in Prescott Valley were relieved no one was injured when this upscale apartment complex, still under construction, burned to the ground in April. They released these photos of an arson suspect also tied to some vandalism in the area. Still, no arrest made for the fire, which caused $60 million in damages. A grand jury indicted 11 Arizona Republicans in April, including state lawmakers and the former state party chair. The so-called fake electors were among 18 accused of scheming to overturn Joe Biden's win in 2020. 2 of them have taken plea deals. The other cases are ongoing. Also in April, the Coyotes played their final game in Arizona after nearly 3 decades and several failed attempts to find a permanent new home.
It's a complete and utter disgrace in management and a total failure of hockey in Arizona. Absolute shame.
After the puck dropped on the final game, the team owner confirmed the move to Salt Lake City. The Valley hosted the NCAA Men's Final Four in April, welcoming an astounding 74,000 fans inside State Farm Stadium to watch UConn win it all. Pat's Run marked its 20th anniversary this year, 30,000 people taking part, raising money for the Pat Tillman Foundation and military scholarships in what has become one of Arizona's biggest annual events. And after a swarm of bees delayed a D-backs game for 2 hours, a beekeeper became the MVP, drawing a standing ovation from fans.
It was really cool. Getting a couple of fist bumps up and the crowd going crazy. I haven't had that before.
His reward for vacuuming them up, throwing out the first pitch, creating a lot of buzz to wrap up the month of April.
You're watching an Arizona's Family Special,
2024, a look back.
We pick up our recap of 2024 with the month of May, when our attention was drawn to changes in the sports world and controversies on Arizona campuses. The final weeks of the school year in May were disrupted by pro-Palestine protesters on college campuses. They did not impact graduations, but police did make around 100 arrests at ASU, the U of A, and NAU. Dozens of protesters have pleaded not guilty to misdemeanor trespassing charges. ASU's police chief was accused of assault by students, put on leave, and later retired. In May, all of Arizona was pulling for a baby boy who survived the unthinkable. Surprise police say his father, suffering from mental health issues, shot the child several times during a SWAT standoff. Dramatic body camera footage shows officers saving 7-month-old Jackson just in time before the entire home went up in flames. May also brought major changes in the sports world. It was one and done. Despite a winning record, the Suns dropped their head coach, Frank Vogel, after a single season. His downfall the result of an embarrassing exit from the playoffs and friction with the top players. Hours later, the Suns hired Arizona native Mike Budenholzer.
It's like mind-boggling to me, mind-blowing to think that I'm going to be the head coach of the Phoenix Suns.
He signed a 5-year deal to lead the team. The month of June began with a new record. For the first time in history, Arizona's Snow Bowl kept the slopes open through June 1st.
And I was like, dude, this place is still open?
Then the dry heat set in, fueling a series of brush fires in June, the most devastating near Wickenburg, burning 15 homes and buildings. Most fires statewide were human-caused. Temperatures soared to 115 degrees in June. People trying to cool off by tubing along the Salt River got trapped on an island after a tree fell, creating a dangerous current. More than 100 people had to be rescued. The Justice Department released its report on Phoenix police in June, claiming systemic problems in the department.
Severe violations of federal law and the Constitution.
The DOJ reported evidence of excessive force and unlawful treatment of protesters and the homeless. The officers' union denounced the report, and an Arizona's family investigation found misstatements and mischaracterizations of incidents cited. The mayor and police chief say reforms and new training are already in place.
We're taking it very seriously.
This is a dynamic profession dealing with very challenging situations, but we have to get it right.
Still unknown the impact and whether the federal government will install a monitor at Phoenix PD. President Biden signed an executive order in June severely restricting asylum claims at the border, leading to several months of declines in migrant apprehensions. The community mourned the loss of a young Gila River officer in June, Josh Breeze, shot and killed on duty. The 23-year-old was still in field training.
A young man with unimaginable strength, with character beyond question.
And as the world marked the 80th anniversary of D-Day, Holocaust survivor Oskar Knobloch achieved a personal milestone in June.
It was an evening which is hard to forget.
At the age of 98, Oskar received his diploma from Chandler High School. This July, fireworks turned dangerous on the 4th after police say teens tossed them at houses in Scottsdale and at a garage in Gilbert, which burned to the ground. 2 teens were arrested for what police called a prank gone wrong. Every day of July, temperatures were above average, topping out at 118. We set records for overnight lows, which did not dip below 93 degrees several nights in a row. The monsoon sent a couple damaging storms. A microburst tore a warehouse apart in southwest Phoenix, and after a 3-day search there, a young father was found dead in the rubble. Fires sparked through July. The most devastating swept through the small tribal town of San Carlos, destroying 13 homes. Flames also lit the night sky over Bartlett Lake, burning 40 square miles and closing part of the Beeline Highway for a week, but sparing homes. And in the heat, a lizard on the loose snarled traffic on the Loop 101.
Do you see what this is?
It's a giant lizard.
Turns out his name was Archie, and his family had been missing him for weeks.
It was heartbreaking. The second I realized he was gone, I didn't even know exactly what to do. How do you find a lizard?
Lizard wranglers wrestled him into a container and brought him home. And in late July, we watched Olympians with Arizona ties make us proud in Paris. Arizona native Jagger Eaton took home a silver medal in skateboarding, and former ASU swimmer Leon Marchand won gold. But he was swimming for his home country, France, beating a record set by Michael Phelps. The political world was buzzing in August about Arizona's junior senator on the short list to join the Harris campaign as the VP nominee. Though Mark Kelly was not chosen, he did get a prime speaking slot at the Democratic convention.
The choice isn't even close.
Kamala Harris and Donald Trump held dueling rallies at the Desert Diamond Arena in Glendale in August. RFK Jr. ended his own campaign here, walking on stage to endorse Trump. A deadly flood hit Havasupai Falls near the Grand Canyon in August. The flash flooding swept away a young mother from Gilbert.
We miss her a ton. We miss her smile and her joy.
The Arizona National Guard was sent to rescue more than 100 hikers at the bottom of the canyon in what they called their largest domestic rescue ever. The flooding damage was so severe, the Havasupai tribe closed the area to tourists for more than a month. In the valley, the weather remained sweltering through August, breaking the all-time record for the number of days at 100 degrees or higher. And several Suns and Mercury stars represented Arizona and Team USA well at the Olympics in August. The gold medals were especially sweet for Kevin Durant and Diana Taurasi. Both set records. Taurasi won her 6th gold medal. Durant became the Olympics' all-time leading scorer.
You're watching an Arizona's Family Special, 2024, A Look Back.
In September, it became official. The summer of 2024 would go down as the hottest on record. And in that brutal heat, we were reminded once again of the dangers our first responders face on a daily basis. September began with a great loss to the community. A young Phoenix police officer shot on duty. Zane Coolidge, a 5-year veteran, leaves behind a wife and baby daughter.
Zane was more than just my husband. He was my soulmate, my rock, my everything.
Officer Coolidge's partner was also shot and survived. The suspect, a career criminal, could face a death penalty trial. A wave of threats, all hoaxes, disrupted schools statewide in September. Nearly 150 threats led to concerns and thousands of students just staying home.
We're seeing parents pulling their kids out of school every single day, so kids are missing out on the opportunity of learning.
By the end of the month, police made a dozen arrests, charging teens and preteens with making terroristic threats. Midway through September, the heat from the brutal summer finally broke after 113 straight days of temperatures at 100 or above, far surpassing an old record.
It's just ridiculous.
What I want to accomplish, what I want this team to accomplish this season.
The Arizona Cardinals opened the season in September, promising fans an improvement over their 4-13 record last year.
We're in late September here. There's a lot of ball to play, so we got a lot to get cleaned up and a lot to improve on, but it's there.
In college football, by mid-September, the Sun Devils were wildly surpassing those dire preseason predictions.
Yeah, let's keep doing that, please.
At the time, ASU was just getting started. And Diana Taurasi left Mercury fans wondering if the final game of the season in September would be her final game ever after 20 years in the WNBA.
In all of basketball, she's the icon.
If it is the last time, it felt like the first time. I love you guys.
It's a cliffhanger we'll be watching in the new year. And Arizona said goodbye to a legend in basketball and broadcasting in September. Al McCoy was the voice of the Suns for more than half a century. McCoy became a favorite among fans and players, and just this year introduced the new head coach.
The coach of the Phoenix Suns, Mike Budenholzer, Shazam!
Using his signature catchphrase, "One final time." October 1st, we hit a record high 111 degrees. Heat records would continue to fall every day for the first 2 weeks of the month.
Miserable, sweaty.
It's just hot, man.
It's ridiculous. I'm about to move up north for good.
As early ballots went out to voters in October, the Valley witnessed an unprecedented number of political threats. In the most serious case, Tempe police arrested a suspect accused of attaching white powder and razor blades to political signs and opening fire on Democratic headquarters in Tempe 3 times. Thankfully, there were no injuries. Toward the end of October, memorials marked 1 year since the fatal beating of 16-year-old Preston Lord, whose death after a Halloween house party put a focus on teen violence.
This is this was a tragedy that we did not expect, we did not want.
East Valley police chiefs noted new efforts to prevent swarming ambush attacks in the community. Trials for 7 suspects tied to Preston's death are set for next summer. And October wrapped up, as always, with Paul's Car Wash, a 17-year Valley tradition benefiting Big Brothers Big Sisters of Central Arizona.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
The final tally, 647 cars washed and $250,000 raised. The election dominated the headlines in November. Arizona joined the other swing states, ushering in a second Trump administration. Southern Arizona Congressman Juan Ciscomani's win was the key race that officially delivered a GOP trifecta, control of the House, Senate, and presidency. Phoenix Congressman Ruben Gallego was a bright spot for the Democrats, winning his race for Senate.
First Latino senator in the history of Arizona.
He beat Republican Kerry Lake in a race that took 6 days to call. It took 11 days to count all ballots in Maricopa County, again leading to calls for reforms to get future results quicker. This dramatic video made national headlines in November as Phoenix police officers climbed onto a car submerged in a pool to save the driver inside.
Hey, Phoenix police! Come here. I got you. Anyone else in there?
The driver, who says he just hit the gas too hard, was taken to the hospital. The cold set in early up north, allowing the snowmaking machines to get the slopes ready for Snowbowl to open earlier than ever in its 80-year history. And Arizona State continued defying expectations. After a last-place ranking in the preseason media poll, the Sun Devils won the Territorial Cup to clinch a berth in the Big 12 Conference Championship game.
It's a reward for success.
And a major feat for ASU's first year in the Big 12. In December, the Sun Devils continued their Cinderella season, winning the Big 12 championship, heading now to the college football playoffs. Arizona rang in the month with a series of Christmas and holiday traditions, and while it started looking a lot like Christmas, it never really felt like it as temperatures remained in the upper 70s and 80s all month. The bird flu hit the Wildlife World Zoo in December, leaving a cheetah, mountain lion, and several big birds dead. Their veterinarians noticed the symptoms quickly, preventing the further spread of the virus. State lawmakers spent December previewing controversial issues they'll tackle at the Capitol in the new year. Among them, bills on bathroom access and pronouns in schools, restrictions on wind turbines, whether Arizona should track abortions, and accountability over school vouchers. And by the end of December, our Arizona's Family viewers delivered again, helping the Christmas Angel program deliver gifts to 50,000 Arizona children. Our digital team has also compiled the most read stories of 2024 on azfamily.com. You can scan the QR code on your screen to see and read the top 10 stories of the year on our digital platforms. Thanks for joining us for this look back at 2024. I'm Jared Dillingham. On behalf of all of us at Arizona's Family, we wish you a very happy and healthy start to 2025.